The Memphian Theater. Oh, did I love that place and love going. We made 3 movies a year out here in Hollywood. And when we made movies, we'd have to wake up very early in the morning. We had to be at the studio at 8 o'clock. First thing that happened, Elvis came in, and we walked into the dressing room. I did Elvis's hair. That's the first thing we did. Worked all day. Went to bed pretty early at night, enough where we got a night's sleep. However, the moment a movie was completed, the first thing we did was leave Hollywood and get back to Memphis. Our schedule reversed. We would stay up all night and go to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning and wake up late. Every night, I'd go upstairs into Elvis's, up at Graceland, and we had a special room where I did Elvis's hair. And every night I did his hair, and we would talk and laugh and read books and whatever. And then drive to the Memphian Theater.
I used to come here every night at midnight. It was just the neighborhood theater. I don't think there was another theater in town at the time.
The Memphian Theater was almost like Elvis's personal movie theater. He would hire it out and gather all of his friends together, and they would go and watch the current movies.
There's a place around the corner from the Memphian, Crystal Burgers. Someone always went out and buy milkshakes and Crystal Burgers and French fries and bring them back, and we would watch movies.
And the movies would come in from Hollywood. He'd have them flown in, and there would be people standing out front of the theater.
And in front, many, many fans every night.
And he would, let in so many of them, and they would. The way the theater's set up is that there's a middle section, and then there's 2 side sections.
Everybody that went to the movies, unless they were in Elvis's inner group, and this is when Elvis rented the theater after hours, would have to sit way in the back of the theater. I think the closest they were to Elvis is like 15 rows.
Elvis would let probably 15 people on each side come in, and
Elvis would sit with Priscilla.
Halfway up, in the middle, and Priscilla. And then Larry and I would sit behind them so he could turn around and talk to Larry.
I sat 2 rows behind him with my roommate Sue. And so I heard everything that went on.
And everyone else sat behind Elvis, except for one person who could sit on the side. And that was Gary Pepper. Gary Pepper was a paraplegic and took care of Gary his whole life. Of course, the popcorn and the candy were in the front. Now we're all sitting there, we're sitting in the theater, and of course you smell the popcorn.
The rhinoceros, did you ever see that one? We saw rhinoceros.
I remember seeing Dr. Strangelove, I don't know how many times, 15, 20, 30. We would see one of the reels over and over. Elvis loved Peter Sellers. And in that movie, Peter Sellers played 3 different parts. He played an RAF officer, he played Dr. Strangelove, and he played the President of the United States of America. Elvis knew every line.
And we saw every movie ever made every year, 3 every night.
And Elvis imitated Sellers. Elvis was a marvelous imitator. He'd do a great Brando. We saw all the Pink Panther movies there. We saw Beckett there. We saw whatever movies were out, we got them.
That is the true definition of a rock star, to have that power to be able to do that, or that freedom to be able to do that.
Finally, the last night that we knew we were going to be here, Charlie Hodge had kind of befriended us. And Charlie came down and he said, look, you guys have been great. You've been here all week. Here's what I'm going to do. At 3:30, we've rented the theater down the street. Elvis is going to go see the movie The Spy Who Loved Me. You cannot tell anybody. If you guys can follow us, I'm gonna get you in the theater with Elvis. Now I'm 16 years old, and that's all I've thought about my whole entire life was meeting Elvis. And here, this night, it was gonna happen. We see the front door open and 2 or 3 people walk out. Elvis walks out, gets into the Stutz Blackhawk, starts driving down the driveway. My mom jumps in the car, I get in. There was no way to keep up with him. He ran a red light down on Shelby Drive, and my mom would not run it. And Charlie had told us, you know, whatever you do, make sure you keep up with us, because if you don't get in there, the doors are going to automatically lock, and I can't get you in. And I'm like, Mom, run the light, please run the light. And she's like, oh no, I'm from Ohio. I'm not from Shelby County. They'll throw us in jail. Mom, they're not going to throw you in jail, really. Please run the light. Sure enough, we get there. Everybody else is inside, and we're locked out. And that was the last time that I saw him.
There was one funny thing. I thought it was funny. I don't know. Nobody's ever told this story.
One night, it was Christmas time, and one of the fans came in. He used to go out and get hamburgers and things for the group.
Comes over and hands Elvis a present for Christmas.
He couldn't even look at Elvis. He walked up and went, it's for you, Elvis, for Christmas.
And he opens it up, and it's a bottle of Brut and brass
knuckles.
That's what he gave him. And Elvis was really nice. I mean, he just...
Elvis said, thank you very much.
But it was just really, I thought it was funny.